Yo, what's up, y'all? It's the Buff Missionary. We out here again, and I wanted to give you a video kind of concluding, summarizing, updating the Walla Walla experience that, I was there for a few days, had the privilege to go and share for their missions week and like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss the notifications. We out here. But on the reels, like it was really cool being up there. The First of all, let me start with kind of the reception and the culture. I really liked the sense of community that I felt there as an outsider coming to the campus. It's a little bit different than what we're used to in Berrien Springs. Hashtag if you know, you know. But man, honestly, it was a vibe. The people were really open, really receptive, and getting to share with them on multiple occasions. I spoke once on a Thursday night and shared like a 10-minute story talking about Bilung, my Palau mom, and the name that she gave me, which I consider like the greatest gift I received when I left Palau, Ngoriaklu. And it was cool to see just their response and their appreciation for me opening up and sharing that. Um, I wasn't going to talk about her at first. I had a different story, a more exciting and humorous kind of story I was going to share. But because that day, that Thursday, I just heard an update from about my mom from my dad. That was kind of on my mind, and I thought about how uh, Bilun had been like for real a mom for me in a place where I wasn't able to connect with my own mom in a way that I would have loved to. So it was awesome to kind of put those things together and see how God was working in that way, and give Bilung a shout out for what she did for me, even though she was just being herself. So much love, Bilung. Love you, and you mean a lot to me. Thank you, and I had to share that with the people out there, and they were glad to hear about it. So that was cool. Now, getting to Friday, I spent a lot of time prepping, trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to talk about, what would be meaningful or impactful for the students there. And in short, I'll see if I can get the video off YouTube. I may have to kind of go through my notes again later if there's some issue there. But in short, I wanted to focus on this concept of why are we here, and the idea of living a life based on being instead of doing. I get nervous every time I get up to speak, which is funny, but I was able to settle in stepping onto the platform to speak, uh, which was great. It helped that, I mean, the whole thing was quiet. There was a basketball event going on that weekend. A bunch of high schools were in town, but it was a really cool experience where I felt like the people wanted to hear what I had to say, and that always helps you be more comfortable if you're up front speaking with people, no matter how nervous you are. So it was really cool. Got to talk with a lot of people afterwards who appreciated it, shared some different things, met a lot of people I didn't even know were in the area. And I have to give a really big shout out to three of my students from Palau who are students at Walla Walla right now. That would be Reese, Nale, and Layden. Like hanging out with y'all was awesome. I hadn't seen a couple of y'all in person since the last time I was in Palau in 2019. So being able to share that space with y'all, and I mean that's y'all's home now, and I'm the guest. I'm the outsider there. So having y'all to show me around, it was legit. I loved it. I'm glad we really got to hang out. Um, but yeah, so the Walla Walla experience was awesome. There's a couple people that I was able to catch up with while I was there, and I have to shout them out as well. So the Nortons, all right, Ken Norton and his dad, Pastor Norton. I was going into the Atlas, the coffee shop on the campus of Walla Walla. Andrea Keel was giving me a tour of the campus, and we were in there. And I decided to go upstairs just out of curiosity. And I turned to the left, and lo and behold, I'm like, yo, man, I know you. What are you doing here? And it was Ken. And it was amazing because I hadn't seen him for a couple years. But we're like, yo, man, we have to catch up. He told me that there were some things that God was doing in his life. And it was just awesome for us to be able to connect there. And in short, when I was able to catch up with him and we talked about it, he had mentioned how Walla Walla was an interesting and challenging experience for him, returning as an older student, trying to build community. And he'd been encouraged by his parents to get out and kind of studying more social places just to have the opportunity to meet some more people. So that's what he did. And on that day is when I happened to walk up the stairs and to see him there so we could catch up. So it was like, yo, definitely a God moment. And on top of that, his dad, Pastor Norton, was down there for that weekend as well, just to be there. So I got to catch up with both of them. And, you know, man, Ken, that's my guy. And Pastor Norton also, that's my guy. And I want to take this time again to shout out Pastor Norton because the last time I saw him, I believe, was when he came to speak at Andrews for our missions week, right? And because of what I deemed some unnecessary political correctness and some people getting hyped over nothing, honestly. Like, if you really, I can go in on this, and I have a podcast I didn't release on that topic because, you know, because I was, I put the option out there and was asked not to, and I decided to respect that. But, I have words. I got words for some people about that stuff and that treatment there because I didn't appreciate it. But it was good for me to be able to catch up with him after that, catching up with him on the phone, maybe several months back at this point now. But to be able to see them and to connect with them once again, it was awesome just to see how God's working in our lives and the different plans and the things that are going to be happening moving forward. So really awesome to see y'all, Pastor Norton and Ken. Yo, I hope to see y'all again soon. I might have to make it out to Montana because I haven't been to Montana yet, but I hear the nature's banging out there too. So I got to see them. Then I got to catch up with one of my boys from Southern days, Damari Banks. So I got to shout you out, man. He he lived in Tri Cities, which is like an hour or so away from Walla Walla. But and even though he taught at the academy, and the girls basketball team from his school made it to the championship game, so he came out to support. We were able to catch up there, and it was just cool to reconnect, to bond over these new memories, and to catch up on how things had been. Real good peoples, and he's doing good stuff out there. And even he had just moved over to that school within like the last year. So it was just event after event after event where God was saying, "Yo, man, I got something for you here. Yo, I got something for you over here." And it was awesome to see that and to experience that again with the backdrop of the stuff that I'm talking about in the other video. So, Walla Walla, all right, I got to give this one up for you. 10 out of 10 experience. The students there, the receptiveness there, catching up with people, meeting new people, making new friends. It was awesome. I appreciate y'all that both got a laugh out of the buff missionary, and apparently I'm an influencer. But also that y'all that actually decided to follow, check out the videos, and then be a part of that. So two more shout outs I have to give. One for Andrea Keel, who is the missions chaplain there at Walla Walla. I like what she's been able to do with the program there. And I had a lot of different questions on how they were able to do things the way that they were doing them. And I would love to try to get some of those ideas in place and kind of off the ground at a place like Andrews, because it's called Andrews and because there's a statue of a guy named Andrews outside of a church called Pioneer Memorial. You get what I'm saying, all right? This is the way that I describe, hey, we out here, I keep it real. This is the way that I describe what Andrews has the potential to do and what we're dropping the ball on right now. And I did say we, okay? So don't try to cancel me for that because I said we. Y'all know that picture with Dwayne Wade throwing up the alley-oop to LeBron, like probably 2009, 10, I don't know, on the Heat. And Dwayne Wade is like, he's just running out underneath the basket, not even looking. He throws up the ball, and you see LeBron in the back like this, getting ready to throw it down. Y'all know I'm not a LeBron fan, okay? Keep it a stat. But that picture is what comes to mind when I think of Andrews with a minor change. Andrews, with all the stuff that I mentioned before going for it, even the fact that it was called Emmanuel Missionary College, God with Us Missionary College, before the name change to another missionary-minded, mission-minded thing. It's as if someone threw up an alley-oop and there's no one to dunk it. Or it's like someone threw up an alley-oop or maybe they just ran under the basket thinking that because they were on the court, a ball was going to get dunked. And there's someone flying in to dunk it home, but there's no ball. Andrews, that's what we are right now. As long as we are not in tune with the mission mentality as a school, the fact that we got professors out here who are telling students, y'all don't have time to go serve. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I said it, man. Come on now. That's that's the biggest missed opportunity. We have a chance to to serve up the easiest and most impactful alley oop, and we're dropping the ball literally. So I got to give a shout out to what y'all are doing over there at Walla Walla. It's legit, and there's a reason why students come to the school knowing that they want to go serve, and with the intention that service is a part of their education experience. We can improve on that for sure. We've made strides, all right? Don't get me wrong. We've been doing some things to improve, and I think that from what I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, just from being here, things have gotten better, but there's a long way to go. And if Andrews is going to call itself the flagship, then we need to lead the way when it comes to the mission experience as well, in my opinion, all right? Last person I want to give a shout out to is Lauren Larson. Never met you before until hearing that you wanted to sign up to, or that you were willing to get interviewed for the podcast. Go watch that episode. I'll probably link it in here somewhere. It's already up though by the time you see this. It's been up for a week or so. But awesome episode. She served in YAP, and it was a great experience talking to her, catching her energy, and just seeing what she was about, and how she relayed through that experience, the things that she learned and the things that she's able to continue learning and processing through as a result of that experience. So, hey, thanks again for being willing to hang out on the pod and share your story. It's awesome. It means a lot. And I know a lot of people are going to be impacted by that. And I saw that you were able to speak at, I think, Walla Walla calls it community. So I hope that was good. And I hope you had a really good response there as well. So a lot of people to shout out. And you know what? I'll shout out this last thing too. There's a reason that I call Berrien Springs Barren Springs. That's not an issue we have out here in the West. We drove an hour from the school and we're at some crazy waterfall looking like Grand Canyon thing. Was able to get some cool drone shots. You'll see that video soon too. But it's like, man, I was born in the East. And a lot of people say the East is the beast, but I might have to go with those who say the West is the best. I'm not sure. I'm big on nature. And I will admit that there's a lot more nature I need to explore in the United States, both East Coast and West Coast. But I've had a lot more experience on in the East so far. And if I have to measure it up with what's going on in the West, I'm sorry, I'm choosing the West. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And so, here I am in the Midwest right now. I'm going to show Michigan some love too. I hear there's some good things going on in UP. Haven't been there yet. It's kind of far, but I will. All right, one day. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to keep this going long enough, but this is the Walla Walla Experience update. And thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Y'all know how we roll. We out here and we out. Peace.